This is Ashley.
And Cindy.
And this is Life for Dummies.
Because we're real dumb.
Yes. Okay, what are we talking about today?
Well, I thought today we would talk about relationships.
Oh, wow.
But not like we have before.
Okay.
So like before we talked about like unhealthy relationships, toxic relationships. I think we should talk about relationships, meaning like that's what fills our lives, is different types of relationships.
Okay.
Still not following.
You can start.
Okay. So, my life revolves around interacting with other people, right? And those interactions, we form relationships with some people. Some are surface level, some get deeper, some people know me better than I know myself. And it all is because of this cool life that I get to live today, right? But all of those relationships can sometimes be a struggle. Sometimes it's really fun to have really close relationships with others. And then sometimes it's like, wow, they know me too well. And all they have to do is look at me. And now I have to tell them what's going on. And that can be really uncomfortable sometimes, right?
Absolutely. I didn't have friendships before. Like, and I'll put an asterisk to that statement because I do still have some girlfriends in my life who are in my wedding from my past life, right? And I would say that I wasn't a very good friend to them. I was extremely selfish. So they must be saints.
Do you guys hear that? I heard it right here with these two ears. You guys are saints.
Exactly. And besides that, I didn't really treat anyone very well, and I would use everyone. Mm-hmm. And so today, I have a plethora of real relationships, and it is a lot easier for me to be there for those people and talk to those people on a day-to-day basis than it used to, I think, because not only did I get rid of so much of that self-obsession, but I also just don't put so much pressure on myself. Like, it doesn't feel like work. It feels more natural and simple.
And I think that's probably because we're being kinder to ourselves, right? So the impression that I have of myself back then did not allow me to be open with people because I was hiding something, right? I was hiding this big, dark secret that really wasn't a secret. But because of that, I was unable to open myself up to have meaningful relationships with people. And I have so many different people in my life today. There's people that I have relationships with from back then that I am still friends with. And it's like, we won't talk to each other for a while. And then when we do talk, we pick right back up where we left off. And it's like nothing ever changed. And those friendships are priceless, And then I have friendships where like people that I have met after I changed my life and I came to this new way of life. And those friendships, those people are consistently in my life, usually on a daily basis, and that was something brand new to me. Like someone actually just wanted to know if I was okay. And those relationships are amazing as well.
I like how you had said earlier that they know everything about you. Because you're right. It's like I would try to keep secrets from everybody in my life. And that's a bummer. Because then I'm not able to truly be authentic in my own life.
Yeah, and how sad is that when you can't, if I'm not being authentic with anyone else, it's because I'm not being authentic with myself, right? Like if I can't even allow my innermost being to be present, then who else? I can't do it with anyone else if I can't do it in a room alone with myself, and that is like such a beautiful gift that I get to have today, is that I authentically know who I am and I can be myself around anyone. and not apologize for who I am. And some people like it and some people don't. And you know what? I'm completely okay with that today. I know that I'm not for everyone. Sometimes I can say some things that, I always try to come from a kind, caring, loving place. But sometimes people need you to say things to them that aren't the easiest, conversations to have. But here we're saving each other's lives. And this is important work that we're doing here.
It's real important work, and we know that everyone is being vulnerable. So I think that's the difference, because in other relationships where people try to give me advice or try to call out my issue so that I save myself in time, whenever I feel uncomfortable and I want to push them away and not take their advice, typically it's because I don't really feel like they're totally vulnerable either. And so it's like, the reason why I'm able to accept the advice of somebody like Cindy or those in practicing this new way of life is that I know they are genuinely trying to work on every character defect that they have. And they're honest with themselves about it. And so when they come to me in a kind, caring, loving manner to point something out because they're genuinely worried about whatever's going on, I understand that this is something that's true and I'm willing to listen to it, because they're not just trying to point the finger at somebody else so the finger doesn't get pointed at them.
And that's a really important part of the piece right there, is that the finger's not being pointed at you because they don't want anyone to pay attention to them. It's because they honestly care about us today. And they're, like Ashley can look at me and say, "What's going on? I know you're not okay." And I can do the same for her because that's how well we know each other. And it's scary to let people in like that. It is scary to be vulnerable with another human being and say, "I am fearful of this. This frightens me. This brings on some kind of emotion that I'm not really familiar with. What do I do?" That's a scary place to be. But I can tell you this, by allowing another human being in like that, the growth that comes from that and like helping each other get through those things, the relationship that builds from things like that, it is absolutely amazing. And it is something that usually lasts a lifetime, and that's so cool that we get to have these relationships today.
Yes, so find your people. Like, there are people out there. For instance, Cindy and I are your people now.
Yes, we're here for you.
Whether or not you like it,
You're stuck with us.
you're stuck with it. We're your people. Okay? And then also, like, IRL, in real life, find your people who are going to be just as open and vulnerable with themselves and have self honesty and willing to work on every area of their character defects that you are. Find those people, because those are the people that you want to hold on to. Those are the people that you want to get in their back pocket and go through life together.
Absolutely. And that's why relationships are so important, because these are the types of relationships that last a lifetime. These are the types of relationships where we learn about ourselves, we can better ourselves, and it is truly such a beautiful gift. We're here for you guys.
We love you.